Hi, this is Roger Peterson. In this video, I'm going to go over the current status of the coronavirus lockdown in Costa Rica and what steps the government is going to take to reactivate the Costa Rican economy. So let's get started. So, as of this video, the current cases we have are 863. We have 17 individuals hospitalized and 10 deaths. Overall, Costa Rica is ranked as the country in Latin America with the lowest mortality rate for COVID-19. Does this mean the government has lifted the mandatory lockdown? No. However, the government, by way of the Ministry of Health, has recently announced a 4-step program to begin to gradually open up and release the amount of lockdown on the economy. Let's take a look at it. The first phase of the opening up starts from May 16th to May 31st, and it will start with national parks specified. Some of them will open at 50% capacity with the previous purchase of tickets online to enter those parks. The beaches will reopen Monday through Friday, but they're only going to be open from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Recreational sports, where you don't have any direct physical contact, or high-performance contact sports without spectators, are going to be allowed at a reduced capacity. The food pickup delivery windows will be available on weekends, and small hotels and B&Bs with 20 rooms or less can reopen at 50% capacity. The recreational physical activities will also be allowed. The next phase, which runs from June 1st through June 20th, will bring more of the national parks online, also operating at 50% capacity. Then it's going to allow restaurants to gradually open to operate at 50% capacity. Museums will reopen as long as you have pre-purchased tickets. And again, they will also only be allowed to have 50% capacity. And then after that, all hotels can also open, but at 50% capacity. And then the following phase, which runs from June 21st to July 12th, all stores can open at 50% capacity. Places of worship, churches, etc. will reopen, but with a maximum capacity of 100 people and with social distancing rules. The movie theaters can open, theaters as well, all operating at 50% capacity. The bars may open, but also at 50% capacity. And then the final phase that they are programming here from July 13th to August 2nd would reopen schools for grades 1 through 6. They're also going to open school for seniors who are due to graduate here. They graduate in December. So they're going to open that up as well to see if they can get them graduated under special schedules. High contact sports with spectators will reopen, but at 20% capacity. And then they're envisioning that the beaches will be able to reopen during this phase, but applying social distancing rules. So that is the summary of the reopening program the government has implemented, which will run from May 16th through August 2nd. Just as it has occurred in many countries around the world, the economic impact of coronavirus on the Costa Rican economy has been devastating. The hardest hit sector of Costa Rica is the tourism industry, and as this article from National Geographic points out, when it looks at the town of Monteverde, heavily dependent on tourism, that it's having a very, very negative effect because we're very dependent also on travelers from the United States, from Canada, and from Europe. Ironically, the tourism industry was said to have its best year ever in 2020 because tourism was really going up until the virus hit, and it completely stopped the tourism industry. The tourism industry is not the only one to be affected by this. If you can see on the graph here, for the first trimester of 2020, agriculture, industry, manufacturing, construction, big drop, transportation, financial activities, and the business sector in general are all taking a big hit from this as well. There is a very good presentation done by 2 financial analysts and sponsored by Banco Proamerica, and it's called The Impact, Mitigation, and Consequences of COVID-19 on the Costa Rican Economy, done by Luis Lieberman, former Vice President of Costa Rica and founder of what is today Scotiabank, and Gerardo Corrales, also in the banking industry for one of the largest private banks in Costa Rica. So I'm going to attach for you in the video description, I'll put a link into their presentation. It is in Spanish, but it'll be there for you as a resource. Okay, so let's get to the bottom line. What is the government's plan going forward to try and mitigate the effects of COVID-19 on the Costa Rican economy? Let's look at their proposals. The first measure is announcing the reopening schedule that we've already discussed at the beginning of this video. The second measure is that they have announced that the Costa Rican-owned government state banks shall make available lines of credit for working capital for those businesses that need it. Next item on the agenda is to increase public spending on infrastructure projects by spending 3.1 billion colones on these types of projects. This section we're going to call support for the productive sector of the economy. And what they're talking about here is increasing technical training. They're talking about modifying the Costa Rican labor code to offer more flexible work hours. Right now, the Costa Rican labor code is pretty strict. In order to save jobs, this is going to have to change. Then they're talking about reducing the commercial electric rates. Right now, we have some of the highest in the region. On a regulatory front, they're talking about improving up to more than 104 regulations by reducing some of those requirements, and also eliminating some of the permitting requirements that currently require you to appear before 25 different entities. So the idea is to centralize that and make it easier for businesses to start up. Now, they've talked about these for many years, and it looks like with what's going on in this current situation and the effect on the economy, it's finally coming front and center. The next government priority is how to attract foreign investment. So here they came up with the following. Number one, they want to attract baby boomers and retirees to Costa Rica, realizing that the amount of foreign revenue that retirees and expats living in Costa Rica spend in the country is significant, and so they're going to provide incentives to attract baby boomers and retirees. The second one is to create a wellness hub in Costa Rica and have Costa Rica become a center of innovation for wellness and life sciences. The third part of this is the legalization of hemp, industrial hemp in Costa Rica for industrial uses. And there's currently a bill in the legislature, it's been there for about a year, trying to legalize industrial hemp and medicinal cannabis. So the idea is to move this bill forward in the legislature to see if this additional diversification in agriculture will provide more revenue to the. And the final component of this is to provide relief and or incentives for the small businesses that are related to the export sector. In other words, Costa Rica realizes that it needs to stimulate its exports in order to have that foreign revenue come in. The next component of the plan they labeled productivity. Now, this section does not have a lot of specifics to it, but what they talked about generally was having Costa Rica become a more technical agricultural innovation center, to create the new digital economy in Costa Rica, and to stimulate tourism. Those are the generalities of this component. So some very ambitious measures contemplated. Some of these have been well overdue for many years. Some can be done by presidential decree. Others are going to require a law passed by the legislature. So let's see how it folds out. In any event, we're going to keep you posted on all the developments as they come about. As always, we appreciate your comments and suggestions. If you have any comparison of how your country is handling the effects of coronavirus on your economy, let us know. Share that with us. And once again, thank you for watching, and please take care.